So for some reason over the years, there's been this impression that for a mortgage approval to be good, it also has to be instant. So I want to tell you why I disagree with that stigma, what I think you should do as a buyer, and how to make the mortgage experience the smoothest possible. I am Rachel Saylor Brown, local mortgage lender with Guaranteed Rate here in Clearwater, Florida. And I want to share with you a little bit of story time, a little bit of just overall industry experience about why this idea of an instant pre-approval isn't necessarily the best. Now, when you're under contract on a home, when you have a home and a closing date, yes, let's make the mortgage instant, right? Because we've already done all of the documentation and processing that we have to do before you ever ideally went shopping. So there's this stigma or idea that unless your mortgage approval is instant, that means there's something wrong. And that's simply not the case. So I want to share with you a story. I received a call kind of middle of the day. I was tied up in several appointments. It was a panic call from a client who had been working with another lender, and that lender gave them this instant pre-approval of $225,000. Well, in our area and for what she wanted, that purchase price really wouldn't have been able to get her a home for her and her family. So while I wasn't able to talk right in that moment, and that kind of caused panic as well, I said, hey, let's schedule a call. Let's really talk through it. Let me learn about your goals and kind of all the different variables. We did that. It took us 2 weeks to get her fully underwritten and approved. And what underwritten means is that it's not just me giving my blessing, it's an underwriter who actually approves the file that is signed off on everything. Now in this case, there was nothing bad, but the client had several different jobs over the last year. She had some overtime income. We were using a co-signer that owned a couple properties. So nothing bad, it just, those things have to be documented in a very particular way for mortgages, and it can take time, right? You're waiting on mom, you're waiting on an old job, whatever. So we got her fully underwritten and approved at $350,000, which was exactly where she wanted to be. Now, once she finds a home, all we have to do is get the appraisal, get insurance, and boom, we're done. Unfortunately, I have another story in kind of the opposite direction. It's a person that came in, they already had a property in mind, they were in love with the home, they needed to be out of theirs. It was this very rushed feeling. So I did the initial pre-approval, all looked well based on the credit report and information provided. We worked with her to get her credit boosted. We boosted credit 50 points, right? Now we're doing all this while there's a clock ticking. She's already under contract on a home with a closing date. So we get the score updated, we have everything we need to submit to the underwriter, remember, because it's not me, it's the underwriter that approves it. And when the underwriter did their review, they found a foreclosure that had happened pretty recently. And unfortunately, that killed the deal, which is so disheartening, right? And we never want to do that. We never want to put our pre-approval stamp on something. And certainly this person, I don't think, was trying to hide it or be malicious. It didn't show up on credit. She thought she didn't need to mention it. Anyway, all this to say, just because it's quick does not mean it's perfect or good, and truly the opposite can happen. So when you are thinking about buying a home, usually it's not an exact spur of the moment decision. So I would suggest at least 2 weeks to a month before you truly want to start shopping and putting in offers. Call me, let's get your pre-approval. We'll start with a soft credit check, right? And it's going to make your home buying experience so much better, and you can just focus on the house, right? You don't have us harassing you for this, that, and the third because you've already given us your paperwork. So again, I'm Rachel Saylor Brown. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching today.